Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Zachary Lunt, and my co-host here is Dan Amundsen.
How's it going?
So today we're going to start off with the women's soccer team. They've been on a hot roll. They're 10-0, and they're ranked 6th in the national poll. Rachel Norton is also tied for BSU history for the most career goals at 40. Obviously, I don't know what you think. She's going to surpass that?
I would assume so. There's plenty of games left. The pace they're going at, I can't imagine that doesn't happen. So we'll be looking for that. That's a big milestone. That's exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, especially, I don't know, there's still a half a season left. I just don't see her not getting past that. I mean, she just scored, I think, like 2 or 3 goals this last game against the last game. So, I mean, she should be next to set the pace here. The women's soccer team, their next game, if you want to tune in, is on Friday, October 5th. Now, let's go into our next section here with like football. Well, with Brandon Alt being injured, is that a possibility? Is that a big hurt to the team, do you think? You
know, anytime you lose your starting quarterback, it's a blow to the team, no doubt. And that if you lose your starting quarterback, you get rhythm with that. It's a blow, of course. And he's a good quarterback. He'd been playing well. And rumor has it it's an ACL tear. I don't think that's been confirmed, but that's what we'd been hearing lately.
Yes, there was the footage that is on YouTube from the media day. BSU, one of the reporters asked Algin a question about like, how is it to feel to be the starting, like being a quarterback and being a stepping up? And he kind of just said, you know, oh, this is where it is, like this is how we say it. And actually right now, we'll go into that clip.
It's just kind of how I've lived my life. I did it in high school, sophomore year, same kind of thing. Kid tears ACL, I step up and I start till I graduate, and now I'm here doing the same thing.
All right, so after that clip, that you could see that he kind of said, you know, that it was kind of hinting towards it, doesn't mean so, but he's kind of saying like, oh, yeah, I've been in high school where we had a quarterback had the ACL tear and I had to step in, and it's kind of the same situation here at BSU. He kind of said that, but he didn't say it exactly, so it's not fully so we can't just fully assume that, but that's what it kind of sounds like. It's not just a knee injury like they first thought it was with the MRIs. And now it might be an ACL tear, which could make him be out. He'll be out for the rest of the season.
For sure. And that could be even coming into next season. That's a big blow. Brandon, he's a young kid, redshirt freshman, and you want to see him healthy. You want to see him on the field. He's been playing well, and so you got to worry almost about next year too. That could be a big problem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now that they lost Brandon Alt, I should say, they have Henning and they have Aldrin as their 2 quarterbacks that they're kind of fighting for spots. Henning is a junior, so he also has more experience. But then Aldrin's a freshman. I mean, who are they going to roll with? Who do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough question so far. They've been kind of going with a tandem duo here and running with both of them. So I guess Henning's listed number 1 on the depth chart right now, so I'd assume he'll be the starter on Saturday, but I would expect to see both of them. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I'm not necessarily a fan of that 2 quarterbacks. Like I said earlier, you get used to that rhythm with that 1 quarterback, and all of a sudden you're running 2 of them, that wide receivers, running backs can get their timing thrown off a little bit. So I think they need to settle down with 1. Who that's going to be, I don't know. They've been splitting time pretty equally lately.
I mean, to be honest, just that one game, it was against UMD, where Henning was in, I think, for the first half. For parts of the first half, had like 60 or 80-some yards passing. And then Aldrin came in the second half and kind of made the scoring drive happen. But I don't know if that was just luck. I'm not saying luck, but, you know, if that was just that Landon Jones was just getting wide open and they were falling apart on defense, or what that could be, you know. So who really knows who the starter should be? I think this week will prove who's our starter, don't you think?
I would agree with that, either way, there's got to be more passing. They've only threw the ball 13 times last week, I believe it was. That's got to change, otherwise defense are going to start picking up on that run tendency, so they've got to figure the situation out and get the ball in the air a little bit.
Well, yeah, the last week's game especially, we played against Wayne State, you know, and they didn't have any passing against them. It was 45 yards, was it?
Something
it was like 45 yards passing, but they had over like 300 yards running, 400 yards running. It's like, and now we're going into this next game, you know, maybe we'll see. But before we get into that next game, the defense, solid performance every week in, week out. They had that 100-yard interception for a comeback for a touchdown. Special teams, they came in, scored as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just crazy. Score was it 27-10, I think it was, something like that. It was roughly the score was. BSU obviously won. But that defense with the special teams play, though, you know, with wasn't really a defensive play. It was more special teams with a 94-yard punt return. They go down the field. You see them, like, the guy just going down, and all of a sudden he looks like he's about to go down, and he just tosses it over to this guy that's chilling wide open, and he just books it down the field. And all of a sudden you go down, he's going down, and boom, touchdown. Everybody's going wild, like, and it's also the #1 play of the week too.
That's incredible. That's honestly one of the coolest plays I've seen. You just don't see that too often. And you got to give the defense credit for that too. They forced that punt, so that you got to give the defense a little credit for that. But that was a pretty sweet play. Defense
has been solid, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. So is BSU? So we've been playing against these teams. We're 4-1. We're going to Sioux Falls, who's also 4-1.
Correct.
Is BSU actually just this good, or are they kind of just been who they've been playing against? Like, you know, U of Mary, and Crookston, they haven't really proved themselves as a good team in I don't know how long, a couple years possibly. So, I mean, what do you think about this? Is this a one-time thing this year because of the teams they're playing against?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. It's still a little early in the season. Duluth was a good test, and they hung in that game, went to double overtime, fell short though. But other than that, the other teams have been pretty not great. The defense has still looked good. You don't let up any points. That's outstanding. Anytime you do that against any team, that's a good accomplishment. But this week's definitely going to be a big test. Sioux Falls is a good team. They know how to move the football, and we're going to see if the defense can keep them at check.
Yeah, the Sioux Falls especially, they have a really good, it looks like from on the papers at least, it says they look like they have a good running game as well, with like 1,500 yards rushing. Passing is about the same as BSU, so I don't know if maybe they're not as good as passing as well. I haven't seen much footage from them. Another thing is our team going to be able to go against their defense? I know you were saying something about the defense there. What was it?
Yeah,
the worst in passing?
Yep, Sioux Falls has the worst passing defense statistically in the conference. So that'll be a big test. We'll see if they can throw the ball. I think the run game, I think we're going to see a lot of running in this game by both teams. The defense is going to be ready for that. So I think if BSU can come out and throw the ball, you might catch them off guard a little bit and they'll put some points on the board.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you're saying they're the worst defense probably for passing yardage, I mean, that's the opportunity to maybe, but at the same time, will that kind of make it easier for our quarterbacks at the same time to make them look somewhat good? So it's like at the same time, it's kind of a toss-up of who's actually the great or good quarterback for the starter. So with this upcoming game against Sioux Falls, they're ranked 23rd.
Yep.
And what do you predict score-wise? Do you see BSU ahead, Sioux Falls?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a good game. It's homecoming week for Bemidji, so everyone's going to be fired up. It's going to be fun. Two good defenses going at it, so I think we're going to see a little lower scoring than what we've seen from the rest of the Bemidji games. I'm seeing like a 24-21 game. We're going to kick a field goal last minute.
So BSU is going to win?
BSU is going to take it out on homecoming.
Okay. I'm gonna be I've been the bad guy lately, and I've been going against BSU. I think if BSU doesn't get this passing game against the worst defense, supposedly in this league right now, I think that they'll actually lose by a field goal. Actually, I think it might go in overtime.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be an OT game. Field goal is gonna go to Sioux Falls. They're gonna kick a field goal to win the game. As I think it's gonna be an OT game. Sioux Falls wins. It's gonna be, I'm saying 27-24.
All right.
Sioux Falls, just because I feel like there could be that possibility. It'll be a close game, maybe going to OT, and they'll win by field goal.
That's what happens. You never know. Sioux Falls has Bemidji's number. I believe they're like 4-1 against Bemidji the last couple meetings. But you bring that point up against field goals. I got to say, Sioux Falls has not been kicking the ball too well.
Okay.
So might have something against that, but
hey, that's a good point. Yep. I mean, yeah, they got the percentage not as good, but I mean, look at UND. They missed 2 wide field goals that were to the left and right. So I mean, they have possibly a good kicker as well, but they just didn't make it this time. I don't know what happened there, but maybe it was the ground was not right, or who knows what happened to Holder. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch this game next week. You can tune in on it at bsubeavers.com, stuff like that. There's also, this is a home game, so it will be live on Channel 17. And we'll see you guys next week.